Hello, everyone. Daniel here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, we're going to go over what just happened in the ENERGON Universe 2024 Special Edition from Free Comic Book Day. Now, as you can see, Megatron is in the cover of this, drawn by Ryan Otley. But if you weren't able to pick up this book, I'm going to go over and give you some of the high-level details of what went down in this issue. And hopefully, you can find the book later on. Maybe you can pick one up at your shop if they may still have some. So let's get into it now. This book has three different stories from the Energon universe. We have a Transformer story, a Void Rival story, and a G.I. Joe story. The Transformers one is written by Daniel Warren Johnson, drawn by Ryan Otley, with art by Annalisa Leone. With colors by Annalisa Leone. The Void Rivals is written, of course, by Robert Kirkman, with Lorenzo De Felici, Mateus Lopez on colors. And the last G.I. Joe story we have is by Joshua Williamson, with Jason Howard on art, Mike Spicer on colors. Let me see. Was it Russ Wooten, the letter on everything? Yeah. Russ Wooten's the letter on everything, as he is for a lot of these books. So I'm not going to get too much into details for the Void Rival story. I'm actually kind of behind on that. But just know that there is a Void Rival story that does connect a little bit with the Transformers. But we'll talk about both the Transformers and the G.I. Joe story. So let's get into it. As you can see here, we catch up. This is in the past. This is prior to the book's beginning. This is prior to a lot of the stuff that we read in the Energon universe. We see Megatron fighting a really, really cool shot. Ryan Otley posted this online earlier today or earlier in the week, where you can see just how beautiful is this just shot of Optimus and Megatron fighting each other. Now, of course, things don't go very well for Megatron. He loses an arm. He's not winning the fight, right? Because Optimus Prime uses his battle axe to try to defend himself. And then Megatron has to escape. This is what led up to try to escape. And then, of course, here we see the betrayal by Starscream. This is very important because in the series, if you're following it, Starscream is the leader at the beginning of the book. Now, some of those things may have changed. If you're not current with the series, make sure to go catch up. But yeah, they haven't landed on Earth, right? They were fighting in the ship, and Megatron just falls down to Earth. And that's why he's not around at the beginning of the books. So this is kind of like a Megatron special, really. So if you read Cobra Commander, you will know that Megatron's body was in Cobra La La. And Cobra La, they have him prisoner there. And that's kind of where we see here. They've been experimenting on him, trying to get his power source. This is how they discover the Energon. But eventually, Megatron does escape. He gets back his arm, or one of his arms. The other one has been lost, apparently. So that'll be really interesting, the search for Megatron's missing arm. But Cobra La is not letting him leave without a fight. We do see some really interesting... I don't know much about Cobra La because I'm pretty new to G.I. Joe. But we see here something very interesting, this gigantic creature. So I love anytime we see giant robots fighting gigantic creatures, kaiju-like creatures. I don't know who this guy is. I don't know why he has a snake tail. You guys let me know down in the comments, because I know there's a lot of G.I. Joe fans out there. But ultimately, Megatron seems like he is able to escape, even though he has lost both of his eyes. And here we see as he gets out of the mountain and into the world. So this will be continued in the main Transformers series. So this book for Transformers gave you everything that Megatron's been through since prior to the beginning of the book, and then up to catching up into the series. As I mentioned, I'm just going to do a little quick overview of the Void Rival series. We do see a Transformer in the book again. So like I said, I'm not caught up, so I don't know what's going on exactly. But as you can see, this will be continued in Void Rivals. Now, we're going to get into the G.I. Joe story. And this one is really, really interesting. Now, we know that Duke has already met the Baroness, right? They were in that prison together. And now it seems that Duke wants to recruit her to be part of the team. So as the Baroness is ambushed by some assailants, we see some really cool art. I'll go back. I forgot who the artist is supposed to be in this. Let me check real quick. It is Jason Howard, whose art I'm not familiar with, but if I think the Baroness is supposed to get her own series as well. But if Jason Howard is going, was it Jason Howard? yeah, if Jason Howard is going to be doing the series art, I think it looks very cool. I love how dynamic is, like it's popping out of the page, right? I love when artists just kind of go even beyond to let your imagination kind of fill in the space. And then, of course, Duke shows up to help out the Baroness. And this is kind of how Duke is trying to recruit her to work with him for their next upcoming mission. As we saw in the last issue of Duke, G.I. Joe, or codename G.I. Joe, is getting ready to begin. So I think this is going to be a fun twist. Obviously, the Baroness is not really one of the characters that normally sides with Duke or the G.I. Joes. So that'll be interesting. I like her outfit. It looks super rad. But then we see here, and I love all the little Easter eggs. Right? We see all the little Easter eggs here. The dreadnoughts, like everything, Scarlet, like everything that we've been seeing here. But of course, then we see that the assailants from earlier were actually sent by this general. So it was all a ploy to get the Baroness to drop her guard and kind of follow Duke into battle. Either way, I think this guy wins, right? Whether she succeed or not, he at least knows where she is. Has her. This is going to be continued on the GI Joe books. I don't know. I don't know that there's a GI Joe title that's been announced yet. But there you have it. That was the Energon Universe 2024 special update from Free Comic Book Day. So let me know what you thought about this book. Let me know what you thought about the upcoming stories if you're reading them. And as always, thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff here in the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye-bye.